Hello, 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 and we are live. Coach Hadassah here, metaphysician, personal development coach, wellness entrepreneur, and proud founding member of Extreme FX Global Academy, where Bitcoin and Forex collide. And this is our 15-minute mindset where we're recapping on today's live from earlier, right? This is Mind Your Business Day. And we had a special guest, my son, Ryan, 16 years old. He'll be 17 in May. And he was talking about the the youth program that we have over here with Extreme FX, right? The Extreme FX Young Guns youth entrepreneurship and development program that we have, where not only are they learning how to trade, but they have personal development. So that's what's going on with them. They're being personally developed. Also, they're learning financial literacy because that is very, very important to have when you're making a lot of money, especially when you're young like that. Okay. Because here's the thing, again, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times and the strength of our salvation. Not only that, you go to and what Deuteronomy about chapter and um our creator, our heavenly father told us to teach our children at all times, right? At all times. He said when you wake up in the morning, right? When you rise up, when you're going to sleep, when you're sitting by the wayside, when you're walking by the wayside, just at all times teach your children. That was a command that we were given, right? Um, so history, they need to know history. They need to know their history. They need to know about this kingdom living. Not only that, they need to know how to be good school stewards over what it is that we pass down to them. And this is that what we call it compounding. We learn that with Forex, where we can take a certain amount of money and then learn how to compound on that account. Like many people know about like compound interest, but then that compound interest is so low, right? We're looking like, oh, we just got a couple of cents. Um, not even a good 1%. Like, what is that doing? you know but when we're really compounding, let me put my leg down here, compounding efforts, um compounding over time, and let's say we have things of value that we want to pass down to our children. They need to know how to keep it. They need to know how to maintain it, right? They need to know how to take care of it. They need that wisdom and that knowledge. And then they do the same thing where they pass down the wisdom and the knowledge on how to, keep, sustain, maintain. So this is what we're doing. So the live that happened earlier, if you didn't see it, please go back, right? Please go back and watch it because it was great. It was really great. He shared so much just within. Look, how long has he been in the program? I think we started about in February, like probably towards the end of February. So maybe just a month, right? Just a month. And he's learned so much within that time. I mean, I'm gonna say something that he said. He was like, I love Mondays. He's like, I look forward to Mondays. And we have many of our generation in which we're their parents don't like Mondays. Oh, I gotta go to work. It's the work day. Mondays. Do we really want to pass that down to them? Right? Like I don't think so. Right? I don't think so. So it was just good to have him on here and talk about these things, to hear it from the perspective of one of our youth over here in this program, right? So as you can see, what's scrolling down here below, I usually do a hyper launch at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. However, we have the Young Guns program on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. So from today moving forward on Mondays and Wednesday, this is what I share with you all, right? We want you all to join us. Like it says, bring us your children. And even you can learn the skill set with them. I'm learning this skill set with my children, right? So we'll be over here at newmembers.org. Again, that's newmembers.org. And the passcode is ICON in all caps, ICON, ICON, at newmembers.org at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the Extreme FX Young Guns Youth Entrepreneurship and Development Program. I'm going to go and tell you all about it. And listen, I want to share this as well, because I just got off of one of our fearless leaders. I call her Lady Linda Joe White, and she was just dropping so many jewels, right? Just dropping so many jewels. Because here's the thing, she said something, and it made me type in the chat. She said that the reputation, because we talk about kingdom, right? Kingdom living. We're children of the Most High and all of these things, but are we really, right? I mean, are we really? And the reason why I asked the question is because this is what Linda said, and it makes so much sense. The reputation of the king is in the welfare of his people. We'll say that again. The reputation of the king is in the welfare of his people. So that reminds me of when the disciples of Yahshua, basically his students, okay, when the students of Yahshua received the spirit that he had, that he poured out collectively on all mankind, so that whosoever would align themselves with that spirit, would align themselves with that energy, right? Opens up to receive that spirit, or opens up to receive that spirit, then guess what? The reputation of the king is in the welfare of his people. No longer are we sick and struggling and broke and complaining and all of that. Remember back in Exodus, he moved them from out of that. They were complaining about that. They were complaining about being sick and tired of being sick and tired. They were complaining about the heavy labor and the bondage. They were complaining about it. And then even in the book of Jasher, which is a more detailed account of the book of Genesis, it was a death decree out on the male Hebrew children, ages 2 and under. They were killing them. Now, how they actually did it, that's in the book of Jasher. And when you read that, it brought me to tears. I'm like, this is what they were doing to the babies? The babies. That's like, oh my gosh. Right? But why? Why were they doing that? Because the king knew about the times. The king had astrologers and everything in his camp. It wasn't that the astrologers were evil, right? It wasn't that the astrologers were evil. It was just that there was an evil king or an evil pharaoh in position and utilized the astrologer's talents Okay, their knowledge of the heavens and the universal timing, in order to ask, okay, there's a time where somebody is going to be born in order, and that's going to overthrow me. So I need to stop this so that I'm not overthrown. And he used the universal timing in order to know when that would be, so that he could kill off the male Hebrew children at the timing that he thought that they would, that one of them would be born. Let me kill them all so that I'm not overthrown. But how Yahweh set things up, Pharaoh didn't even know. He raised the very one, it was his grandson, okay, raised up the very one that he was trying to kill, because Pharaoh's daughter brought him in the house in order to raise him up as her own child, because she wanted a child, and was out there bathing in the, in the waters, because there was a certain time where a certain angel would store up the waters, and so they believed in fertility gods. So that's what she was out there in the water bathing for. So when this baby presented itself, because of he was crying, she thought, oh, here's the baby. This was a sign. It's like, okay, boy, Yahweh slick. The way he set things up, and used things to still bring about his purpose, right? So they were crying out at that time. They were crying out for a better way. And he answered to bring them from it, because again, the reputation of the king is in the welfare of his people. That evil king or Pharaoh that was over the people at that time, that wasn't good for the people. And so the King of Kings came and got them up out of that situation, brought them out of there, and took care of them when they went through the wilderness, going over into the promised land, right? The righteous king. The reputation of the king is in the welfare of his people. And when they went over there, what were they doing? They were going over there in order to do what? Inherit the land that was promised to their forefathers. And they had to know how to care for it. They had to know how to take care of it. They had to know how to behave themselves in order for them to keep it. Well, guess what? This is where we are now. This is where we are now. We're moving from that mentality, right? That slave mentality of as it was said with our one of our founders before, that what's it called, the 40-40-40 plan. The 40-40-40 plan. Work 40 years. Was it work 40 years, retire on 40%, and I forgot what the other 40 was. But that's not a good way to live. And that doesn't that what does that say for the reputation of the king, when the welfare or the well-being of the people, you got to go back to work after you just did your 40 years, and then retire off of 40% of the pension, and you don't really have enough to live on, or you have to really downsize your lifestyle. And many people, because they start losing their will to live, because they're looking at the money. The money is about to run out. What does that say for the reputation of the king? if the reputation of the king is in the welfare of the people. Now, it don't say anything about our creator. It says something about we need to switch our minds from what we thought or what we were taught was the way and get alignment with the real way. Because wealth, that word again, wealth, has the word well in it. And that's WEAL. And that word means welfare, well-being. It means welfare, it means well-being. And we already know about this particular welfare system. That ain't gonna help you do too much of nothing, right? We're supposed to have life more abundantly, the overflow. Dr. PK even talked about that this morning, going from not enough to just enough, and then more than enough. We're moving into more than enough. This is where we are. And this is why this particular opportunity presented itself. Look, the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor yet bread to the wise. None of that. The scripture says that time and chance happens to them all. Chance means opportunity. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up in the dictionary, etymology, all of that. Chance means opportunity. This opportunity presented itself at the right time with the right people whose hearts and minds are on kingdom living, like for real, because we are supposed to manifest or make plain, clearly seen where it's tangible, the kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. When are we going to do that? There's many people have already done it. But when we're going to stop talking about it, or just talking about it, and really truly be about it. But we have to undo some things in order to do what we're really supposed to do. Because we are charged to set the kingdom up, and we have to teach our children. We have to teach them. It's no coincidence that I was, first of all, called to homeschool, chosen to do that, and then seeing what was wrong or being shown what was wrong, and then setting up things to where, okay, our curriculum is going to be based on this, and then telling my children between 16 and 18, I want you all to go to a trade school first before you go to a college university. Well, the trade school that I thought of blew my mind when it really came to how the trade school came about. I'm thinking trade, like, when I went to cosmetology school, I'll send my children to, maybe barber school, or, learning drywall and stuff like that, which are good skills to have, because look, as long as we have houses, they're going to need repair. Right? They're going to need some type of repair. And trust me when I say, not only can you make some good money doing it, but you can save a lot of money too if you know how to do it. General contracting stuff, or specializing in certain things. Plumbing, I remember when I talked to my son about plumbing, he was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. But we know they make a lot of money. Have a plumber come out, and they have to do something with some pipes and everything. It's a lot, right? But then, so think, on one end, when you have to pay for it, it's like, ooh. But on the other end of the plumber, you like, cha-ching, right? But learning those things, as long as we have cars, they're going to need repair, right? Learning those things, those are good skill sets to have. And so when I say, hey, you all are gonna learn some type of useful trade. Uh, Computer repair. Learning that. Learning what's the other thing I'm always telling them um about, but all this computer technology stuff. They need to know these things. But then as sure as the time came, I had one that's 18. He's about to be 19. So 18 through 13. Guess what came? Guess what came? Forex trading. Trading. So they are in trade school, like for real. And it's mind blowing. And they're learning. And it's great because by the time it's time for them to fly the nest, they will have a skill set to where they can afford, they can afford to, they they can afford in properties, they can afford their own cars, right? They can afford to pay the insurance and everything on them. They can buy them cash, right? They could buy them outright. I said they could get investment properties. They can invest in certain businesses. They can invest in their own education, not have to take out any student loans or anything like that. They can do that, and thus not setting them up for the new slavery, which is debt. We're debt slaves now. It's not the slavery had back in the day, chattel slavery. It's debt slavery that knows no color, knows no race, pretty much. And so I'm going to end with that on this note. Again, you see that information below. Bring your children, right? They need to learn this skill set. Ages 18 to 21, we are teaching them how to trade on the Forex market along with personal development, financial literacy, entrepreneurship. It's an awesome program. And I'm going to share this too. I'm going to be sharing it all the rest of this week because we have an event that is coming up in Houston. So if you are in Houston, Texas, reach out because I'll be there. Many of us will be there this weekend, March 26th through the 20. I'll say March 26th and 27th because the 28th I'll be flying, back home. But Friday and Saturday we're gonna have an event. Be my guest. Reach out so that I know that you're coming, right? Because we want to make sure that you get in. It's free to guest. Okay. So don't worry about paying anything or anything like that. It's free to guest. So be my guest. Reach out. Inbox me. We're gonna be at where will we be at? We'll be at the Houston Hyatt. So I will have the address because I don't have it on me right now, but Friday the 26th in the evening. So I think the doors open at about 6:30, right? And then on the 27th on Saturday, both of those days. So again, reach out. So right there, down at the bottom, Extreme FX Young Guns, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, newmembers.org, password, icon, and all caps. So we're about to get I'm gonna get something to drink, something to eat, all that good stuff. And I will see you on the right there. It's right there, scrolling past. Right? I'll see you on the Zoom. All right. So you guys take care. See you on the other side of what? Success. Right? Peace.